Hey, ¿cómo están? Wild ones, hope you guys are doing well. This is Wild on Twos, and thank you for joining my channel. Please remember, hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell for future notifications. That does help me out a lot. So, this week we're going to be going over a subject called how a motorcycle club conducts a meeting using Robert's Rules of Order. Let's go! Hey everybody, this is Wild on Twos, and thank you for joining my channel. I just want to throw a disclaimer out here right now before we get started. I am in no way an expert in this subject, but I have been studying and researching it further. So, take it easy on me. But what we're going to be talking about is how motorcycle clubs tend to run a meeting. And we use Robert's Rules of Order. Okay, this goes way back. I mean, shit. It was started back in ancient Greece and refined by the English Parliament. Hint, parliamentary procedures, aka Robert's Rule of Order. And in the basic, who uses Robert's Rules of Order? Well, Congress, student government, city councils, corporate boards, school boards, HOAs, yada yada yada, and clubs, especially motorcycle clubs. So, in quick, parliamentary procedure, it's a way to run a meeting smoothly. These rules help maintain order. I mean, we do have other shit to do, so we got to maintain order. The purpose of the parliamentary procedure is to ensure the majority rule, protect the rights of the minority and the absentees, provide order, fairness, and decorum. And we got to facilitate these meetings pretty quick. So, just another disclaimer, not every club runs the same. The reason being, clubs have different structures, systems. For instance, the two main things when it comes to parliamentary procedure, aka Robert's Rules of Order, we got to remember that the purpose, when done correctly, and the key word is correctly, is to create a true democracy. In other words, give everyone a fair vote or shake or equal voice. Some clubs do it wrong, and it turns into a dictatorship instead of a true democracy. And this is why some clubs are against a national officer structure. So there's a couple structures. There's a national officer structure and a charter, autonomous charter system. When it comes to a national officer structure, some clubs have many positions. You're going to be talking national level is going to be the president, vice president, sergeant of arms, secretary, treasurer, road captain, PRO, and other maybe positions. Then regionals is going to have the same line of positions. Then chapters are going to have the same line of position. Then you will have other motorcycle clubs that run in a very simple and democratic way. We all have opinions on this matter probably. But in my opinion, sometimes the clubs that have many positions and structures do run into problems with cliques. But there are big clubs out there that run in a very simple parliamentary procedure structure. That simple structure runs when the clubs have like national and international clubs. It's called the autonomous charter system. So, yellow truck. Some clubs don't have national presidents, but they do have charter/chapter presidents. So that helps prevent any tyrants, dictatorship, and a few other issues. So Robert's Rule of Order, also known as parliamentary procedure, also known as Robert's Rule of Order, allows every charter chapter member to have an equal voice. In these chapters, we'll have a president, sergeant of arms, secretary, but usually that's about it. These chapters officials have a job. It's not a power. The president's only power, really, depending on the club, is a vote when there is a tie. So if they need a tiebreaker, this white card next to me, if they need a tiebreaker, each club will have a way of having a tiebreaker. It can be the president, secretary, sergeant of arms to have a vote to make a difference in the vote. Every chapter will make a vote when the system's that way. So, for instance, if let's say there's 10 people and you got 5 yeses, 5 nos, there has to be a tiebreaker. The president or secretary, sergeant of arms or secretary will have a vote for the yes or no. Some clubs is very different with the tiebreaker, so don't take my word for it. It's very simple and ineffective. It's very democratic, other than the tiebreaker. But if a club does have even numbers, odd numbers, you won't need a tiebreaker. Again, every club is different with Robert's Rules of Order. Now, one thing that is constant is the basic principles of the parliamentary procedure. Now we're going to run into some traffic here. All members have equal rights and privileges and obligations. A quorum must be present. Full free discussion of every motion is a basic right. Only one question at a time can be considered, and members have to have the right to know that what is immediately pending question is. No person can speak until recognized, and that's really not that easy to do. Personal remarks are always out of order, and the majority decides question except within basic rights of the members are basically involved. And 2/3 vote is required for any motion that deprives a member of rights, and silence gives consent. And the chair should always remain impartial. There is a typical order of business, and hopefully I can remember this. It was a list. There is a call to order. Then there's opening exercises, if applicable, roll call, adoption of the agenda, reading and approval of the minutes, reports of officers, reports of standing committees, reports of special committees, special orders, unfinished business, and general orders. Then there's new business, announcements, like when the next meeting will be, good of order, and then the adjournment. Then there's the role of the presiding officer. Remember, they have to remain impartial during this debate. They vote only to create a break of a tie. They can determine that quorum, introduce business in proper order, recognize speakers, determine if the motion is in order, and keep discussion going, and maintain order. Actually, the maintain order thing could be the sergeant of arms, actually. So the sergeant of arms is the enforcer of Robert's Rules of Order during the meeting. They make sure they maintain the order, and that's really not easy to do. That's a tough job. And like I said, I already gave what the president or the presiding chair does. Then you have the secretary. Now the secretary just keeps the records, keeps the minutes, keeps money earned, spent, invested, counts the votes. Like I think I said that. What members gains and lost, etc. And usually after that, there's motions. I'm not going to get into the motions. That just takes too much time. The Robert's Rules of Order is like a book of 700 something pages. But there's a general rules of debate, believe it or not. No member may speak until it is recognized by the chair. All discussions must be relevant to the immediate pending question. No member may speak a second time until every other member who wishes to speak has spoken. No member can speak more than twice to each motion. So normally, this is brought to the table. This topic is going to go around the table twice. So when it gets to you the second time, you better say everything you want to say. And you have no more than 10 minutes to debate something. All remarks are addressed to the chair. And like I said, no members can speak more than 10 minutes normally. It is not permissible to really speak against one's own motion. No personal attacks. The presiding officer must relinquish his chair in order to be participating in the debate. When possible, the chair should let the floor alternate between those speaking. When a large number of people wish to speak to a motion, it may be for the chair to make a speaker list, actually. And members may not disrupt the assembly, which, that's another thing hard to do. And rules of debate can be changed by a 2/3 vote. like I said, there's always a foundation of thing, and not every club is going to run perfectly or smoothly. So when it comes to voting, we talk about majority vote, 2/3 vote, voting by the chair, but the usually methods of voting is voice votes majority of the times. Sometimes they say show of hands, roll call votes, and then there's proxy voting, but majority of times you're going to see the top two that I mentioned before. Well, I think I'm done for this topic. I memorized and researched this topic, and so there's only so much I can remember during a ride. If anyone has experience, that guy just sped by. If anyone has experience with Robert's Rules of Order, Parliament's procedures, please leave comments below. And guys, please remember, hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell for future notifications. That does help my channel out a lot. I do appreciate you guys. God bless, much love and respect. Until next time.